There's 100 different reasons why you're broke, but if we comb through that list from bottom to top, there's one reason that is singularly more impactful than everything else. This one reason is why it's so tough to save money and is the cause of you living paycheck to paycheck. The problem is that most people focus on the 99 other reasons, but they don't focus on the first due to procrastination. So let's talk about that. Being broke is expensive, and as a result, it's tough to climb out. Picture it this way. You're down there and up there is where you want to be, but you're stuck down there and you don't know how to get out. There's no easy ladder set up for you to just climb. And the problem is being down there costs a lot of money. We have high interest loans, the inability to invest, paying for cheap stuff that breaks often. It all makes being poor really expensive. So what can you actually do about it? Well, yes, you can save $5 a day by skipping out on your Starbucks order. You can buy a cheaper car that gets 40 miles per gallon. You can even eat rice and beans all day. But the real problem isn't going to be solved by being frugal and saving more money. The real problem is your income. Okay, so your income is defined as money received, especially on a regular basis for work or through investments. Now, saying you need to increase your income seems like an almost stupid idea to put forth because duh, everyone knows that. How much money you make correlates extremely well with how much money you can actually accumulate and how far away from broke you are. But I really want to put this thought in the spotlight because too many people out there are emphasizing the saving aspect of getting rich. But yeah, you guys, from personal experience, saving doesn't actually do too much. 8 years ago, I was absolutely broke, but at the same time, I was so frugal, right? I was so aware of what I was spending my money on. My mind was focused entirely on how I could maximize every dollar, remove every cent of spending, stuff like that. Like it was almost a disease. I just remember thinking, how long am I gonna stay broke for if I'm so financially smart with my spending? It's funny to think back because the main reason why I was broke was because I wasn't prioritizing increasing my income, which I think is more common than we think. It's really, really hard to increase your income. And so what we basically do is we procrastinate and focus on all the things underneath that, which in my opinion are much simpler and easier to do. This is exactly what I was doing from 2014 after I graduated college until around 2017. I was working random gigs to make money, but the majority of my focus was actually on being as frugal as possible. In 2017, I started to level my income up while still being as frugal as possible. And guess what? That was the first year where I didn't feel like I was super broke. 2018 was even better. 2019 was even better again. And each year, the ratio of my mental energy shifted, with the frugal part shrinking and the make more money part actually increasing. And so the reason I'm telling you this is because while I do want you to be frugal, I do want you to save a lot of money, I don't think your whole identity should be based on that. This puts severe reinforcing pressure on the main cause of why most people are and stay broke, which is that their total income is just not enough. Okay, so cool, we talked about all that stuff, but now I think it'd be really good to actually talk about some ways to increase your income. Because yeah, if I ended this video with, hey guys, you need to make more money, that's it, like and subscribe, that would be super lame and just not useful at all. So I'll share 3 different things in particular that I've learned over the past 5 years, which is the time frame when my income saw the most year-over-year growth. And you guys can basically take these things and implement them into your own life. They're pretty simple concepts, but hard to actually implement. Yeah, if you can force yourself to actually implement these things, I guarantee you it's going to increase your income as well. But before we talk about the next points, I want to introduce a free course I just launched that you guys can get access to right now. It's called Affiliate Marketing Mastery, and it's my free course teaching you how to build a successful affiliate marketing business. It's super beginner friendly and will cover secrets that I implement in my own affiliate marketing business that does about $1 million of revenue per year. It's completely free. This video doesn't have a real sponsor, and I just sort of wanted to tell you guys about my own free course. So that link is going to be down below in the description. Okay, so the first concept that I want to talk about is that you need to stop working so hard on things that are guaranteed. Let me explain this a little bit more clearly because I know this is sort of a weird concept. Nothing you do that's guaranteed will ever make you super rich. Becoming a doctor will not make you super rich. Working a 9 to 5 is likely not going to make you super rich. Simply showing up and doing something that already guarantees you X dollars per hour or whatever it is not going to get you super rich. Anything that has a guaranteed outcome can be good, but it's not going to be amazing or great. And that's why I always encourage some risk taking. Guys, you probably are already working really hard. If you're watching watching this video, then you likely care about your finances. You likely hustle in a sense. And yeah, I'd say that most people out there, they work really hard at things. And that's because a lot of jobs are really hard. They require sacrifice, they require a lot of time, and they're super draining. But the difference between being broke and being rich is this. Being rich requires you to work on things that could have a good or bad outcome. For example, showing up at a job that pays you $40,000 a year guarantees you that salary. Every week you show up, you'll make about $800 or so. And if you show up to work, you're not playing with the possibility of, 1 week losing $800 and then the next week making $1,600. It's just that flat $800 a week, one simple outcome. Now, something with more upside is always going to involve some type of risk, which means there are multiple outcomes possible. You could have a loss, a net neutral, a positive, and an extreme positive. For example, take any sales or commission-based job. In 2017, I got my real estate license because I knew I could crush it if I could do well. But on the flip side, a sales job like that could pay you $0 if it's entirely performance-based. For example, if you sell 0 homes, you lose money after fees. If you sell 1 home, maybe you'll break even or profit a little bit in a year. If, however, you sell 100 homes, you've likely made millions of dollars. Every hour you're working, you really don't know how much you're making. In a bad month, maybe it's $0 an hour. In a good month, maybe it's hundreds of dollars per hour. Because that uncertainty is there, it means our earning potential is extremely high. So even though real estate sort of fizzled out for me, I continued to go on trying to make new businesses, most of them with a net neutral or small positive outcome. That is until I finally built one that did extremely well, which is my online education business that you guys are currently watching, which did about $2.4 million in revenue last year. And so I think the takeaway is that if you want to make more money, you gotta take some risks and you gotta embrace a bit of uncertainty. Work hard on things that are uncertain because uncertainty keeps the rewards high. That's the first big concept I wanted to talk about, and that sort of leads us to the second concept, which is you need to acquire skills. A lot of people out there, especially people that watch entrepreneurship content, they like to focus on trying to build a business. They want to focus on chasing money, but they do it without any sort of foundation. The foundation is actually all the skills you're using to generate income. And so if you spend your time just trying to build a business or trying to build passive income, just because those things are, sexy, but you yourself are not particularly skilled, then yeah, that's going to be extremely tough. And if you're young and you're watching this video, you have a lot of time to learn skills. Plus, the resources, they're literally everywhere. Spend your 20s building businesses, not necessarily to make money, but to learn things. In doing that, I guarantee you, you're gonna not only learn things, but also make a lot of money. So yeah, basically, I spent my 20s trying business after business. And I'd say I tried almost everything. At the start, I was too focused on, just making money instead of focusing on learning and acquiring skill sets. But over time, I realized that I should be taking notes every day. I should be reading every single day. I should use YouTube not for entertainment, but to actually learn things. And what you'll notice is that once you develop a certain amount of skills, life will become incredibly easier. You'll be able to spot opportunities better. You'll be able to trade your time for money if you want and make a lot, or you can even find opportunities that generate you passive income. It's sort of like being a Swiss Army knife that can handle anything that's thrown at it. So with this, I want to say prioritize high value skills. And there are so many high value skills out there. Low value skills should definitely be avoided. These are skills that anyone can do or learn easily. So rather focus on harder skills that require training and education, right? Supply and demand really dictates that you'll be paid way more simply because there's fewer people that know how to do that skill, and you can eventually use leverage to build an entire business around that skill. I will say that you'll likely hit your big break as the result of one main skill. So yesterday I interviewed a ton of millionaires and they all said to focus on one thing and build your initial money that way. It's true that most of your income will come from one thing, right? That's going to be the high value skill that creates your initial fortune. After that, you branch off into other businesses. But I don't want you guys to confuse that with, you should only build one skill when you're young. No. Build a lot of skills, and how it's going to play out is one of those skills that you're learning will make you a millionaire. But again, you still need all these supporting skills around it. So yeah, again, building a business doesn't necessarily mean you're going to make money, but building and acquiring skills, that's going to pay dividends for the rest of your life. Okay, the third concept we're talking about is you need to prioritize money. Money is not reserved for the 1%. You can absolutely get it too. The thing is, the 1% spend a lot of their energy thinking about money. It tends to, sort of consume their life. lives. Now, you don't need to make your life all about money, but I will say you should absolutely prioritize it more. Read books on finances, investing, taxes, go ask your boss for a raise, go start a side hustle to generate money on the side, go do more things that put more money into your pocket. Money is not something that sort of just shows up at your doorstep. You really need to put yourself on its route first, and then that's when more of it's going to get delivered to you. The more brain power and effort you put into something, the more you're going to get in return. And so no, I don't think you can make more money without sacrificing more of your time or more of your mental brain power. Just allocate more of that energy towards money, and more money is going to sort of show up. I also do think we need to remove the stigma around talking about money, right? This encourages people to not openly discuss their money issues or bounce ideas off friends about how to save more, how to make more, or how to invest more money. We've already seen more and more people openly talk about pay. For example, Salary Transparent Street. I really do enjoy watching their videos, as well as the videos of a lot of other creators like that. And I think it's a great move in the right direction. Okay, so in conclusion, the only way you'll ever escape being broke is by increasing your income. Your current income probably is not enough to get you out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle. You can become a better saver, but the real needle mover is what you actually get paid. But seriously, I'm just a guy on the internet. I still have so much to learn, but that's sort of my take on why most people are broke and what they need to do to get out of it. If this video can help even just a handful of you guys reset your priorities, then it'll all have been worth it. Oh, and check out the links down below if you guys do want to get some free stocks from Webull and Mumu. They're giving out a ton of free stocks if you just sign up and fund your account. And if you guys know me, you know that I love investing, and these platforms can help you build a lot of wealth. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. I make tons of videos about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and investing. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.